Toto, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Our conversation today is important because in many ways you symbolize the concept behind this show, Cars and Culture. You have a career that's currently built around the success of the sport, obviously connected to motor racing and the passion of the car, in this sense, a racing car. But the smell, the excitement, and the energy, all of that, I think, Toto, first led you to the sport and ultimately brought you back and created this latest installment of your own career. But you're also significantly about culture. And you're an enormous student and a proponent of culture. You live it, you cultivate it, modify it, celebrate it. Both kind of go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah, yes, they do. At the end, culture is the immune system of a sports team or any company. So as it is most often seen as a soft factor, not contributing directly to an organization's performance, especially not a technical or engineering organization where everything is measured in data, that gives us opportunity and gives us an advantage over our direct competitors.
And you spend a lot of time focusing on culture on a regular basis, probably as much time as you do thinking about the business of sport.
I think culture encompasses everything in an organization. You can say that attention to detail, passion, energy, empowerment, a no-blame culture. I mean, I could name you 10 other values that are important, are literally so important in terms of making an organization more resilient that as a leader, you just have to study that, and you just have to continue to develop and build the culture of any organization.
Are there those who you've crossed paths with, who you admire from a cultural standpoint or even from a business standpoint?
I think everybody does it in a way different. Most important is that you understand what is it that you can personally contribute to an organization, and about being authentic. And that's why there will be many different forms of culture and leadership philosophies among people that are lucky enough to head organizations. My personal one is based on the fact that I believe we're in a specialist's world. Doesn't mean you're a one-trick pony, but you need to understand your business and the sport inside out. That's number one. Number two, I believe that empathy, it's a word that's being too often used these days, but empathy is incredibly important, because I cannot develop an aerodynamic surface, but I can know everything about the people that do, and build a framework around them with the right amount of resource and the motivating incentives, and try to keep them in a good space, and that will contribute to a team's and department's performance.
Let's start with the nexus of cars and culture to illustrate maybe some of those points that you just said, because your team's recent experience on the track in the last few days may exemplify probably you and your philosophy really well, kind of illustrative of everything that we're going to cover here during our time on the show. And we're talking just days after Formula One's return to the Monaco Grand Prix for the first time in 2 years. There, of course, was no Monaco Grand Prix in 2020, and as F1 adjusted around the COVID calendar.